Hi guys, Crystal here from Homemaking on the Homestead, and I'm back. I haven't had a video out for several days, just had a lot of stuff, of life stuff just kind of coming at me, and I just haven't had a chance. But I am back, and today I am going to be showing you how to make pot holders. These are pretty simple to make. They're not really fancy or anything, but I'm just going to give you the basics on how I make these. Now, I should show you this one too. I haven't finished sewing this one. I have two of them, another one that's already cut out, and I'm going to sew those up so that I have a couple more. Now, I am using the fabric that I had left over from making these aprons. This is one, and this was the other one that I recently made. Now, if you have not seen my tutorial on that, I will link it below, or I'll link it up here someplace. But on that tutorial, it's a 2-video tutorial, and I show you how to make this apron right from the start. I even show you how to make your own pattern, so it's really pretty simple. When you're done, you do have some leftover fabric. So I figured what a great way to use it is to make some matching pot holders. Okay, so let's get sewing. The first thing that I need to do is to measure out my fabric and cut an 11-inch square. For this pot holder, you are going to need 2 squares. The back of the pot holder is an 11-inch square, and the front is an 8-inch square. And as you can see, I was just using my leftover fabric and figuring out where I could cut an 8-inch square. Now for the insides of the pot holder. I'm using an old towel. As you can see, it's ripped, it's got stains, and I just kind of cut this off here. But you can use pre-bought insulation for this type of a thing. You can get it in a fabric store on a roll. I think it's Insul Bright or something like that, and there may be other types. But if you have an old towel, that works well too. This one was headed to my husband's shop, so it worked just fine. Now to assemble, the fabric is face down, and I am going to stick my piece of filler in the center, and I'm going to need 1.5 inches all the way around evenly. So I want to make sure I'm measuring here so that I can make sure I get it all perfectly centered. And now right side up, you're going to put the 8-inch square on top of that. I pin it so it does not shift around as I get ready to work on the edges. Now, the first thing that you're going to want to do is you're going to want to fold the edge, the raw edge, to meet the raw edge of your pot holder. And go ahead and do that all the way around. And we will get to the corners in just a minute. But for right now, you're just going to go ahead and fold those down right up against the edge of the pot holders, the raw edges of the backing piece to the raw edge of the pot holder. Now, eventually we're going to be turning this over to make a self-binding. And what I like to do before I do the mitered corners is to go ahead and fold that over on top of my pot holder and press that down. Okay, so I am interrupting this video as I was editing it. I just did not like the angle of showing you how to make these mitered corners. That's probably one of the most challenging things, I think, at least for me. Maybe some of you don't find that challenging. It could just be me. But they're really kind of challenging. And I had the camera coming in at one angle, and I really wanted to give you more of a looking down at it angle, like you would look at it as you were making it, because I want this tutorial to be successful for you when it comes to trying to make these. So what you're going to see is me making the mitered corners for this one, and that's the reason I haven't finished sewing it, is because I am editing everything today. And then I will get back to how to finish up making these guys. So, okay. So you can see I have folded the back piece and pressed it, and it's folded right up along the side of the pot holder. And then I went ahead and pressed it that way one more time. Now we come to the corner. I pre-pressed this side just to make it easier, but to make the mitered corner, you want to just leave that open. So up here at the top, we're just going to turn this in just like that. And I like to press it down just so it doesn't move around and shift. Now on this side, you just fold the edge of the fabric to meet the edge of the pot holder. And now you're going to fold this side over on top of the pot holder. And when you do that, you end up with a nice little mitered corner. And then you just press that down. Fogged up my camera. But there you go. And this one, there we go. Just kind of tuck it, move it around if it isn't perfect. This one is far from perfect. Okay. But that, you can kind of adjust it if it's not coming together perfectly, and that is how you end up with a mitered corner. And of course you can pin it just so it stays in place before you start sewing. And you iron down the next side. Alright, and then we do it again. Fold in the corner. On this side, fold the raw edges to meet the edge of the pot holder, and then fold everything over. And once again, you end up with a nice little mitered corner. And we do that one more time here. Actually, this third time. Fold the raw edges in to meet the edge of the pot holder. Fold everything over. And once again, we have a nice little mitered corner at the top here. Alright, that brings us to the last edge. Here we are open. We have this side opened up. This side is over the top. We fold that corner in to meet the edge of the pot holder, the raw edge. And we fold that back down, and we fold this over. So now all our corners are mitered. This one looks like it could have had a better job done to it. And now the edges are ready to be sewn down. And now right along the edge of the binding, then you're going to just sew that down. When you get down to the corner, just simply sew right up until you need to turn, and make sure your needle is down. Lift up your presser foot and pivot and keep on going. And continue to do that all the way around until you meet up back where you started. When it comes to the corners now, those mitered corners, you can sew them down by hand, or you could just do it on the machine like I am doing. And there is your potholder. Pretty simple. I wanted to make another potholder with the blue fabric on the back, but I did not have 11 inches. So this is what I did. I cut my fabric into the biggest pieces that I had, and then put right sides together, and then I sewed the edges together about 1/4 inch. I opened that up, ironed it out, and then that gave me one nice big piece of fabric that I was then able to cut an 11-inch square. So that's an idea if you want to use a particular fabric that you just don't have enough. If you can sew it together, that works too. And then of course I cut out more of my towel material, but I was really having a hard time with it. It was very difficult to cut, and so finally decided to try my rotary cutter, and that did a much better job. I think I need to change the blade though, but so I recommend that over scissors. And I went ahead and just assembled it exactly the way I had done the other one, and there I have it, 2 cute little pot holders that coordinate. I hope you found this tutorial helpful to you, and I hope you feel like it's something that gives you the confidence to try to be able to make it on your own. I'm not very experienced when it comes to showing how to sew something on a video, so I'm kind of learning how to make a tutorial as I go along. So hopefully it was clear enough. If you have any questions, by all means ask me in the comments below, and I will do my best to answer them. And if you do decide to give these pot holders a try, let me know. And of course, you don't have to use leftover fabric from making the aprons. If you have a fabric stash and you just would like to have some fresh pot holders for your kitchen, well, then you can just pull that out and use that as well. All right, you guys, I really appreciate you here and appreciate you watching my video. Don't forget to give it a like if you found it helpful. And if you haven't subscribed to my channel, would you consider subscribing if you like my content at least. And I will see you all in the next video. Bye-bye.